This is the historic village of Cardross, a picturesque community which has its roots as a residential area that can be traced back to the 17th century. Cardross is situated on the banks of the River Clyde, approximately 20 miles west of Glasgow. It is unique in that it is the most easterly village before the boundary with West Dunbartonshire, and proud to be part of the vast local authority area that is Argyll and Bute. Cardross has a lot in common with many other close-knit communities within Scotland, having its fair share of energetic personalities within its locale who are keen to represent their neighbours, family and friends in a bid to make life that bit better for all who live there. In 2002, a tragic death of an elderly resident shook the village. Emotions were running high, and community advocates came forward and began to unite in support of others. From initial discussions, the current committee of Cardross Tenants and Residents Association was formed. Although in existence for some time before many of today's members became involved, it has undoubtedly been the coming together of so many that has positively contributed to the local community. There have been many remarkable achievements from and for the people of Cardross over recent months. This short film will highlight some of the outstanding community work that has taken place or is currently underway, and offers itself as a basis for other communities to do the same. Formerly constituted, the Tenants and Residents Association, or T&R for short, consists of a chairperson, vice chair, secretary and treasurer.
I'm Bill Derris, the chair of the Cardross Tenants and Residents.
The committee meets once a month at a community property provided by Argyll and Bute Council, and support and encouragement comes from a designated Tenants Liaison Officer who looks after T&Rs throughout Argyll and Bute. Even the building they meet in is the home for a key community initiative, a learning centre helping tenants and residents to build on their internet and keyboard skills. When new families move to the local authority area of Cardross, their household is offered a welcome pack which contains useful information about their new area.
You know, this started, we started first by saying that we would go around the new tenants and give them a welcome card. Remember the welcome card we talked about with all the committee members' names on it and a note here telling when our meeting. Well, after that we decided to expand a wee bit on it, and we thought it would be very nice if we went and put this leaflet through the door, giving them all the information about what's on in the village, like you've got the Cardross Parish Church Guild, playgroup, primary school, the post office we've got all the times, and the library we've got all the times. And then in the back we decided to put in, when I say we, I'm talking about Mary and Grace.
As well as this welcome pack, an informative quarterly newsletter is produced, the first one in colour for any T&R within Argyll and Bute.
When I became secretary 3 years ago, part of my job was to produce a newsletter.
With the assistance of other T&R members, the newsletter is delivered through each door within the area. The newsletter includes and explains all the latest information on relevant issues which may be affecting the tenants and residents, examining current problems and identifying potential ways ahead. A taped version of the newsletter is also produced to help the visually impaired to keep up to date with current issues.
We are delighted to welcome Dunbarton Housing Association to Cardross. It has been a long, hard struggle, but at last Cardross will have amenity housing.
Following many years of campaigning by T&R members and an abundance of public debate, Cardross has recently secured a much-needed boost of affordable amenity housing. Thanks to the hard work and tenacity of T&R members, 6 new properties are currently being built to help those most in need of facilities such as wheelchair access. These homes are the first social housing in the village to be built in over 30 years. Dunbarton Housing Association is in the process of allocating these homes based on individual assessment, and each application is carefully and confidentially considered.
Cardross Trust actually owned the land that was sold to Britain to build these houses, and we are extremely happy to see the development going ahead. We are sure that this will be an added amenity to the village of Cardross.
The start of the work was celebrated with an event that included members of the Cardross Trust, Dunbritain Housing and the Tenants and Residents Association. The Cardross Trust also manages funds from other benefactors. Jane Watson left £700 at the close of the 17th century. She was a former resident and servant of Cardross, and her gift is known as the Moors Mortification Fund. The Cardross Trust oversees its administration. Jane had served in one of the large households and was in the habit of taking some salt beef to feed her poor mother. One morning she mistakenly took meat that was intended for her master's meal. She fled in fear and tried to cross Auchenfroe Burn, which was in full flow. Jane promised herself that if she ever came into money, she would build a bridge over it. Jane married well and amassed her fortune. Her bridge was built, and when she died, she left specific instructions that her money was to be spent helping those villagers most in need from the parish. Her money lay for many years until a local councillor recently tracked it down. It had grown in excess of £100,000, and the Trust spend only the interest to support local causes in keeping with Jean's wishes. Another key initiative saw the T&R arrange further security measures for the most vulnerable living in the local authority area of the village. The Chair explains how Care and Repair helped out.
So we get change fitted the doors and personal alarms also that you could put in your pocket and go out. You know, if you're going out at night, you can just take it off the side of the door, pop it into your pocket, handbag, whichever, and you just carry it about with you. And you just pull the string, and I can tell you, it makes one heck of a racket. The smoke alarms on the inside of the houses as well. And I mean, they've done a great job. We couldn't do any more.
T&R made a donation to Care and Repair towards costs.
We had an old battered down metal fence just across in the Leith Road here, and it was a mess. The kids were crossing over, and there's a big steep bank there that takes you down to a burn.
Tenants and residents contacted their local council offices, who sent in a team of workmen to install a much-needed replacement fence.
We dug up the old fence, got rid of it and put a brand new fence down there, which has been a success because the kids just don't jump over it and go down the burn.
As part of the T&R's campaign to make Cardross a safer place for the villagers, the committee decided to organise a neighbourhood watch scheme. It has been extremely successful thus far, with only 2 streets within the local authority area not yet represented. It is hoped that volunteer coordinators will come forward to support the venture following the viewing of this film. The popularity of computing classes was growing, and Cardross residents were forced to travel for tuition. As a result, the T&R contacted their local community education office in Helensburgh, who provided a tutor with laptops on an outreach basis. The committee then applied to the Scottish Executive, as Bill now explains.
We get 4 computers off the Scottish Exec with a 2-year link to the internet.
Following this successful acquisition, the committee moved a stage further and applied to the Lottery Fund for a grant from Awards for All. £4,900 was secured and provided another 4 computers.
My name is Harry McIntosh. I'm chairman of the Cardross Community Learning Association, which is a community learning package that was set up for the purposes of the people of Cardross. People from all walks of life have benefited from coming here in a relaxed atmosphere and learning the basics of computing, handling databases and spreadsheets.
And doing the computer course has really helped me to move on and applying for this new job. If I hadn't done the course, I wouldn't have been able to apply for the job in the first place.
At the outset, I approached the class with some degree of trepidation, but I do enjoy the friendliness, the relaxed atmosphere. Our teacher Robert is very patient and he's very helpful, and we're also allowed to help each other. And all in all, I think it's a most friendly course.
After establishing the neighbourhood watch and the computing classes, we decided to try and do something for the children. So we approached the council and asked if we could have permission to install 2 five-a-side football goalposts up at the park.
Knock at the door, and here's a kid standing. Hey Bill, any chance of getting nets for the goalposts? I said, okay, we'll see what we can do.
A summer highlight for the tenants and residents is the garden competition. Many hours of dedicated care and pride are spent to keep the village in bloom. The garden competition had lapsed for some years, but because of its previous popularity, when the current committee took over, they voted to start it up again. The staff from the local authority housing department act as judges, and committee members have no say in the selection of winners. In the summer of 2004, a one-off special award was presented by the chair of the T&R on behalf of the committee to a local resident in recognition of his outstanding work within communal gardens at Park Grove in the village. It was announced recently that a neighbouring local authority were introducing the Message in a Bottle scheme. This is a voluntary initiative intended for use by the most vulnerable tenants and residents within the community, particularly those living on their own. Details of any illness or allergy, together with medical information and next of kin, are stored in a plastic bottle that is kept in the fridge. A small sticker, unique to the scheme and known to the emergency services as well as other caring agencies, is placed on the outside of the fridge door, alerting medical personnel to the information contained inside. Cardross T&R committee members loved the idea and opted to take part, choosing to expand throughout the village beyond the boundary of the local authority area. T&R project funds, together with financial support from Cardross Trust, jointly cover costs for the scheme. Tenants and residents associations throughout Argyll and Bute have increased in strength in recent times. They come together to form the Argyll Tenants Panel, meeting regularly at a central point, usually in Inverary, to discuss issues that may be affecting all or some areas. Elected representatives from each community within Argyll and Bute gather to share information and raise concerns with each other. They can seek advice and support from the Tenants Liaison Officer and put their questions through the chair.
I'm the Vice Chairman of Michael and Craigendone Tenants and Residents Association.
Well, it makes an enormous difference. One of the reasons being is we are able to discuss everything that's brought forward and make definitive answers to it. Well, we don't keep secrets and we discuss all the subjects from our different residents associations.
Well, what would happen was, let's for instance say my own association from Stracar had an issue that they felt wasn't maybe getting enough, and it could help by bringing up the problem, it could help everybody. Then we would come to the tenants panel and say, look, this has happened in Stracar, but it's a Argyll-wide issue. Then it would be decided that it could be discussed at the panel, and we would maybe discuss it the month before, and then we would say, well, the person that deals with that in the council is Mr. whatever, and he would be invited to attend the next meeting.
Absolutely anything that affects tenants. The agenda has been exceptionally full, and we've been really getting to the heart of the matters concerning tenants. I mean, obviously the tenant participation strategy adoption in more recent months, the stock transfer, and the independent tenant advisor's been coming along every month to keep the tenants panel fully up to date.
The meetings provide a platform to ensure that all small voices can unite to become a bigger one, increasing opportunities to be heard and make appropriate agreed changes to tenants' and residents' circumstances should the need arise.
I think the Tenants and Residents Association in Cardross do an excellent job. They're always very innovative in thinking up new ideas and providing excellent service to the tenants and residents in the village.
Final comments go to current members hoping to encourage wider community participation.
I feel as if I'm contributing to improvements within the area, and also maybe encouraging younger people to join the residents and tenants.
It's something we wish to promote and try and encourage tenant participation.
Taking part is not just about rent setting and repairs. There's a wider role to be played, forming groups together, working together in order to make a difference.
The Cardross Tenants and Residents Association look forward to seeing you at their next committee meeting.